later in 25 seconds.
How long of a delay do we have?
It's coming. It's probably only a few seconds.
People are watching. Or I only have
There we go.
2.
Yeah, because I made it. Christmas what? Aficionado.
Hey, welcome to the Christmas Summit Podcast, the official live broadcast of Christmas Aficionado. We're making spirits bright. That's right. We are drinking our favorite alcoholic beverage and talking with media creators who love Christmas as much as I do and why others also create Christmas content all year long. Tonight, we're going to meet the hosts of the Pepper Tree Villa YouTube channel. Each week, Arnie, Doug, Ben, and Sherri host a live broadcast filled with Christmas crafts, cuisine, and culture. I invited Pepper Tree Villa to discuss the history of their channel, decorating for Christmas, sharing their favorite Christmas movies, and of course, we're going to make a drink. So welcome, everybody. Welcome, Arnie, Doug, Ben, and Sherri. Hey, everybody.
Hi.
And
Hi.
Hi. And also joining us is the official superfan of the Christmas Cousins podcast, Superfan Lee. He's here to help me ask some questions and just have some fun talking about these things tonight. And we hope you thoroughly enjoy it. So, Arnie and Doug, Ben and Sherri, how's everything going? How are you doing today, this weekend?
It's beautiful here in the Bay Area.
Great.
Yeah,
we're in the 80s. I got Santa glowing right now. We're doing great.
Yeah, we actually have a really, really nice day today here in Pittsburgh. So it's actually, I think it hit 60 and it actually did not get cold. So
Oh.
bonus points for us.
Yeah, we
Doug
were
is-
here in Oakland. We're what, 70,
75 or something.
75, 76. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jealous. Because Lee lives not too far from me. So we both experienced the same weather patterns all the time. And it's been cold. It's not getting
Real
warm.
cold.
Yeah, so hopefully we're about to change here and get into summer. But anyways, we're not here to talk about the weather. We're here to talk about Christmas and your YouTube channel. So, but before we do that, your channel always starts off by making a drink, and we're gonna make a drink. And I'm looking forward to this one. I went out and I bought all the ingredients. We're gonna make, Doug, I think you said this was your favorite, was the
Horny monkey.
Horny monkey. So
See? Even has a banana. Big double entendre.
Doug, can you tell us a little bit about your shower to kick off the show tonight with the fake moon?
I was wondering when there was going to be the full moon, because out of our shower there's a window so I can shower by moonlight, and I was wondering when it was supposed to be the pink full moon. So I was showering by moonlight, and it happened to be the full moon.
Well, the way you said it is you're showering with the moon, so it was kind of
I was
awkward, but-
mooning probably the moon, and the moon was
Oh,
mooning
dear.
me. So it was great. I was just staring at the moon while I was grooming.
I love it.
Already, guys.
well, that's
Oh,
the
Some
point of
horny
this.
monkeys.
Oh, you guys want some horny monkeys?
Yeah,
Oh
I'm
my
gonna go ahead and
gosh.
start. I'm gonna start mixing here.
Okay, so Doug, if you want to, or Arnie, do you want to walk us through this?
Well, actually, you start with the recipe is supposed to start with banana liqueur, but I start with the cream of coconut simply because it's thick, and I want to make sure that it comes out of the measuring cup. So
Thick and creamy.
so it's good stuff.
So creamy.
The coconut, I put that in first, and I line it with oil so that it'll just kind of like
You
slide
need
out.
you need to lubricate it or it'll not come out.
So how much do we?
Yeah, most of,
It's 2 ounces?
The
Is that right?
recipe calls for 2 ounces, but I'm only going to put in an ounce because 2 ounces is a
It's
lot.
really sweet.
Mark
All right.
W's
All
in the
right.
house.
Yeah, so mine is
So
mine is a little does it go
Yeah, you need to scoop it out.
Oh, there we go. It went in.
okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and start putting in the banana liqueur. This is a creme de banana, but it's great stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like cough syrup. It's
Yeah.
really good.
It's produced in Switzerland.
Horribly
Yeah.
expensive, worth the dime.
I was looking
this-
for that when I went to ours, and all they had was bottom shelf banana liqueur. So we'll see. We'll see how this tastes.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's yet
sorry.
even a different one than the one I got.
Yeah. How much do I put in? An ounce?
An ounce and a half.
An ounce and a half. All right. I'm an old man here. I can't even see the line.
Yeah.
Well, that's why sometimes, like I said, we don't want to look like a vagrant and we don't want to be all feeble.
Doug, the only way you look like a vagrant in the room where you're sitting is if you were just sitting in a library somewhere. You got
Yeah.
so many
Yeah,
books
and I was
behind
wearing
you.
my homelessly shirt that had all
Can
holes.
you go grab a can of pineapple juice?
Oh,
It's right here in the pantry.
So how much vodka do we use?
The
Where's that
vodka, you
next?
take one. It takes 1 ounce of vodka.
1 ounce of vodka. All right.
So, Joe, you take a shot and then you put an ounce in there and you take another shot.
I like your
That's
thinking, Lee.
I'm not a vodka drinker, but the next one is rum, and I am a rum drinker. So
See,
Yeah,
I
rum is
like
the-
rum.
I like rum
Rum
too.
is mine.
And the
So
rum
this-
is
Yeah, rum
only
is
half
my
an
choice
ounce.
of poison.
So this is a pineapple rum. It's a local place called Maggie's Farm that
Ooh.
we have here. Yeah, it's really
Yeah,
good.
I like the
It's
sound
a
of
dark
that.
rum.
Here.
So how much
Okay.
do we use?
You use half an ounce of rum.
Half an ounce. Oop.
I might go up higher than that. That's a little skimpy.
See, I do it the reverse way. I'd put more rum in than vodka.
I'll go ahead and put in a little bit.
Yeah,
more.
that's skimpy.
I'm gonna put
Sherri,
half
we
an
party
ounce.
together pretty well.
Yeah, I increased
And I
the
don't-
I increased the dosage.
Yeah, I don't drink
Yeah.
that much, but rum's my choice. I like rum drinks.
Ben, is
Yeah.
that
I
true?
guess that's why.
Does she not
What,
really
sorry?
drink that much?
She doesn't. Neither
No.
of us do.
No.
Arnie and Doug
These
have a
aren't the
fully
sto-
stocked bar, but they only drink once a week, and that's on the show.
And we
So-
don't
Oh.
even drink that often.
So then after we put after we put everything in the thing, when we mix it, right?
Yeah, you mix it, and then you're gonna pour it into the glass that's filled with ice.
Okay.
Did you put pineapple
Doug,
juice
you're
in
looking.
it?
Nope.
Doug's looking concerned here.
Yeah, I know. Because if he spills and we get ants, I'm going to be super pissed.
I was going to say, you're not trusting Arnie here.
So I decided to pull out my Santa Claus tiki cup that I have.
Oh,
this-
that's awesome.
See?
yes.
Where'd you
This
get that,
is-
Joe?
Oh,
This is from
Where'd you-
Castle Noel. So Castle Noel here in Ohio is a Christmas themed movie prop museum. So they have tons
Ooh.
of props from How the Grinch Stole Christmas. They have the elf costumes. They've got
Wow.
pretty much they just actually released the Santa Claus suit from Miracle on 34th Street, the original version. They own
Wow.
the costume. Yeah, it's an amazing place.
What's it called, Joe?
Castle Noel in Medina, Ohio, and
It's right over the border.
yeah, it's actually just south of Cleveland, not too far from the Christmas Story House Museum. So if you
I
came
want to
Ohio-
go there so bad.
Oh,
my
you
God.
guys need to come out. We'll all go together. It'll be so much fun, and then we'll
I
go
would
to the
literally
other
spend the
museum.
money and stay there. I would literally like.
Yeah,
can
you
rent
should.
a room.
Once,
I
So-
will.
once
So
you
then
have
Okay,
the
I'm-
cocktail, once you have it mixed, pour it into your glass.
So, Sherry's daughter watches us,
Tiki.
and I finally found the quote.
I'm going to get it for Jeremy.
Oh,
And then
Don't.
It's
Once you have it poured into your glass, you top it with pineapple juice.
That's amazing.
he worked in profanity the way other artists might work in oils and clay. It was his true medium, a master. I need to make a shirt of that.
So there we go. That's a
Okay,
horny
that's
monkey.
a horny monkey.
And what do we do with this banana now?
It's
You're
You
just
eat
supposed
it,
to
Joe.
shove it in there. You're really supposed to shove the whole banana in.
I assume it's just a garnish on the side.
it is a garnish.
It's a big old garnish.
Ben,
You literally
we've lost Ben.
shove the banana in.
Ben's gotten garnished once or twice, perhaps.
But I don't know if you want a big banana sticking out of it and eating it. But
Dear
But then you can also
Lord.
dust some cinnamon on top.
All
I
right.
don't know, why would you put cinnamon on that?
Why not? All right. So I'm going to try this.
My
I
son
have-
would. No, I was going to say my son would love that tiki mug.
Oh, it's so cool.
I
And the guy
I
who
Now,
Go
can
to
you
our
buy it
local-
online, or is it you
Yes,
have to
you
go to the
can.
store?
Mhm.
I just saw it.
Hey,
Yeah,
Joe,
much
is that
is
like
said
clay
tiki
or is
mug?
it something else?
No, it's like a ceramic kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, I had to go to our local tiki bar last month
Yeah.
and get some special edition tiki mugs for my son Jeremy. It was like,
Yeah.
really? That's
no, this-
amazing.
It is really
I like
fun.
the Sherri. I
That's
like
a
the
great
Sherri
one.
said
That's
she
actually
has
really,
to
really,
go to
really
the local
cool.
tiki bar.
I made my husband go with me.
So
So-
our tiki is from Disneyland at Trader Sam's. It's a nutcracker tiki.
Oh, nice. That's very nice. So Mark
And
says, "Oh, it looks like I need to head over to Ohio." Yeah, you
Oh,
guys need to
definitely.
head over there.
Yeah,
You're-
I really need to go to Ohio because I am obsessed. I mean, their movie that they have memorized is What's Up Doc that came out, over 50 years ago. Mine is The Christmas Story. I'm obsessed over that movie. So when they actually got the house. But yeah, we have a tiki nutcracker.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
so
good one.
Well, you
it-
know, Arnie, Tom still has people in Ohio. He still has family there.
Yes, he does.
yeah,
And then we have
you-
this-
And it is a roller coaster capital too. So.
Yes, then we have this one by
nice.
Trader
Yeah,
Sam's, all Christmassy.
yeah. You guys are so close to Disneyland that you guys get to go there and get all the good
Oh, we're
Trader
not
Sam's
far.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So okay, so that's a drink. Now we've got our drinks in hand.
I've already taken a couple swigs of this. This is amazing. This
Yeah,
is
this is-
really good.
It's good.
This is usually when we go on and we do our Hallmark Channel movie review, but
Oh,
we'll save that for the show.
Yeah, we'll save that for the show.
Because we do plan to eviscerate this last one.
So
I
let's start.
wasted-
Let's start talking about some stuff while we drink. So you guys started when did you guys start the channel officially?
Officially, I signed up for YouTube back in 2016 after we cut the cord and we started watching various channels and we said, some of this content is horrible. We can do better than this. So that's what started it. And what really encouraged it was that family members and friends wanted to see our Christmas trees on YouTube. So we started doing that.
Well, we bought the house and got the keys in November of 2008, and we would just put carpet in because the house was a disgusting mess. It was a foreclosure, so it took us 90 days to turn a sow's ear into this beautiful home that we live in. And we just put carpet in on the 5th of December of 2008. I think that next day or two, he's like, I can't stand it. I want to put up a Christmas tree. So he went to Oakland, got his tree, came home, and there was just a tree in the middle of the living room in the front of the window. And it's always had that tree always in front of the living room. Now there's 7 or 8 in front of that window, but that's a whole different story. So that was
Too
2000,
many.
Christmas of 2008.
Yeah.
2009, we're like, okay, but we're gonna do this one. Let's put this one over here. We put the Martha tree up. We put a mouse head
Oh,
tree in one of the rooms.
hold on. No. Hold on, Doug. You have to let them know what Martha is.
Okay, Martha is the tree. We named the tree, but the tree of itself decorated, it's called nostalgia.
Yeah, the reason why the tree is named Martha is because it was come from the Martha Stewart line. We bought the tree at Kmart.
Kmart in 2007.
Cool.
And we ripped off all the lights. It was a 9-foot tree. It was for another house. I took it with me and we put it right when you walk into the house. So we just called it the Martha tree, but it's the nostalgia tree. But the tree itself is called Martha.
Cool.
I don't know why we're on Martha 4.0. 3?
3.1.
No, we had
Three.
the first Martha.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Then we had the second one that ended up getting out.
Oh, yeah, the alopecia.
Yeah.
That tree. And then we just replaced this. Yeah, we're on Martha 3.0.
Yeah, Martha 2.0 started losing all its needles.
She was
Oh,
cutting
no.
like crazy. It was just bare, like, pipe cleaners. And so we got a new one. And so we got Martha. So I think 2009, we probably had like 4 trees.
Yeah, but it's just grown from there.
Oh,
and so
and then
so because we had so many trees, people wanted to see them online.
Yeah.
So we did
Okay.
the YouTube channel. They also wanted to see some of our recipes, some of our cooking and baking. And so we started doing that as well.
because people think we're these magical unicorns that cook all this magical food. Can you see it? Can I see it? Can I see it? I want to see.
Well, I
So-
watched your first. I went back and I actually watched your first live broadcast you guys ever did, and it was
Oh.
it was a whole bunch of questions about Disneyland, which seems to be where your channel started. It was about you going to
Yes.
Disneyland, what your experiences are, people asking questions, but then it kind of
That was actually
changed.
Yeah, the plan for us when we first started the channel was focusing on Disney, and that latched us onto an audience. And the audience got to know us and our habits with Disney. And the reason we focused on Disney was because we were listening to all these like little Gen Xers and millennials who were throwing out all these things about Disneyland with facts that we knew were wrong, which is why we said we can do better than this. So we
So-
started to broadcast our thoughts, and that's how that happened through our live stream. The live stream, you can only do so much with Disney topics when you're talking to the same audience that does the same topics on their channels.
Or
Yeah.
hears us over and over again.
Yeah.
About it.
So we started to develop a different take on what a live stream was for our channel. So we kind of skewed away from Disney. We got our roots in Disney, but we rarely do anything Disney anymore.
But
Yeah,
it was
I-
just the two of them that started, or the three of you?
Arnie and Doug had the first live stream. They wanted me to be a part of it, but I was busy at that time because it wasn't at a standard time. They just went live whenever they
Oh,
went.
okay.
And the next time they had me on, and then it just kind of grew where it was the three of us for a few months. And then Sherri
You
came
tag
on as
along.
a guest from here. And Sherri guested a few times.
I don't even remember what I did.
You were guesting on some of our Taste of episodes.
Taste of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Taste of
especially-
Fall, Taste of Christmas.
Okay.
I remember Sherri saying, "I'm hungry," or "Let me have something to drink." And that's when some of our audience started to say, "Wow, she's a lush."
I need drink.
Yeah.
I need to get my drink on. Come on. Chop,
Yeah.
chop.
This is a very good drink, and I can taste the extra rum I put into this, which is perfectly fine with me. But this
And
is
it doesn't
really good.
salt, not Coke. It's not sweetened Coke. How much pineapple did you put in this thing?
Oh, probably about 3 ounces.
Well, I only put like an ounce or two.
Well, it was just a top.
It's
So.
very pineapple-y.
Hey, Doug, I have a question for you. When we had mentioned Hallmark a little bit ago, you looked a little disgusted. Are you not a Hallmark fan?
Oh, we're Hallmark sluts. I mean, we are.
Okay. I was just making sure.
literally fall
Because-
on the sword
He's
of
just-
Hallmark. If it has a Hallmark,
He's
logo,
probably
we'll buy
just
it.
he's
Oh,
probably
the
just
movie was
thinking about the
horrible.
last movies that we had to endure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw an
We
eye
have
roll and I
Hallmark
I
logos
thought we had a
all over our
problem.
house.
So they
No,
watch.
no.
You guys watch Hallmark movies all year long, which
Yes.
good
Yeah.
for you, but not for me.
You
I
focus
only-
on Christmas.
I only like the
You know,
Christmas
even my
ones.
husband,
So
even my husband, who is, history and
Or two.
World
and-
War II and, all of these other things, I'll go upstairs or I'll go downstairs into the living room.
And it reeks of estrogen.
It really
Yes.
does. He's watching all of these Hallmark Christmas movies.
mhm.
He'll watch them in the middle of the summer.
Yeah.
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 And then he'll say, "Did you see this one?" I'm going, "I don't remember." I've seen so many of them.
Yeah.
I do not like the Hallmark movies or just are just movies in general at the Christmas time that has to deal with death and dying and sadness and that kind of stuff. Ugh. It's always some kind of sickly child or
Oh, I
someone's-
rewatched one last night with Tom, Doug. That
Which
was
one
just
was-
that way.
Ugh.
I don't remember the name of it, but it was about a 15-year-old who collapsed on the basketball court and was in need of a new heart. They didn't know he had a heart problem, and they had to go. They had to go from Cincinnati to Pittsburgh, I think it was, with this heart, and they had to. The helicopters were all grounded because of a bad storm, but
Of
one pilot
course.
who would fly those. But the one pilot who would fly those missions, he didn't care. He went in and got his friend's private little plane with the doctor and his friend and bouncing around in this storm. And then the airport said, "You can't land. We've got to redirect you to a clear path."
Oh
And he
yes,
said,
we've
"No, we've got to
watched
get
that.
this heart." And it was,
Ugh.
and the little brother had lit the luminaria down the whole entire street, and they came
Yes.
in under the storm because they were supposed to be landing in that town and they couldn't. And he said, "We're going to find some place that's straight and lit to
Wait,
Land this
hold on,
plane.
hold on.
Yes, we've watched this.
Luminaria lit the way for them to land a plane.
because in that particular neighborhood they lit them every Christmas and lined
Only-
the
It's not
whole
buying
long
it.
street."
I'm sorry.
But
It takes bright
We've
light to
watched
land
this
a plane.
horrible movie.
Only on Hallmark. But again, like we
So at
tell
any
people,
rate-
we watch these so you don't have to.
Yes. So
they got the
that-
heart there in time and everything was fine.
So Ben brought up the fact that you guys were talking about Disneyland a lot, and there's only so many things you could talk about Disneyland after a while, and so you guys started
Yep.
to switch up the channel where you guys make a drink, you review a movie, you do taste testing, you talk about what's going on in your life. Sherri makes a craft. How did that all come to be? Like, did it all just like switch that's what you wanted to do?
It actually evolved as a result of brainstorming with another YouTube channel. His name is Richard, the Orlando guy.
Mm-hmm.
And we sat down and said, what can we do that's different? And we started thinking along the lines of like maybe doing like a talk show or variety show kind of format. And
In the
so
70s.
yeah, from the 70s and 80s. So we kind of leaned into that. We found some music that would kind of fit that vibe. We just started coming up with ideas for different segments, and we have this whole laundry list of ideas, probably about 50, 60 items. And so we started picking things and just started saying, yeah, you know what? Let's try this. Let's try that. If it didn't work or if it fell flat, we moved on the next week and did something else. And then suddenly the concept came of, why don't you also put in commercials to give yourself a quick break? Like if you need to use the restroom or if you need to maybe clean up a little mess or something like that, you can take a commercial break and then come back and continue with your show. That, I'll tell you, that was a godsend because that really saves us when we are doing a lot of the cleanup from making a cocktail or something spills and Doug's afraid of ants. So
Plus, I have a very petite bladder. It's very
So-
demure.
So, Mark, just
So-
to go back, The Christmas Heart was the movie that you guys
Yeah.
were talking about. And then he
Yes.
also brings up November Christmas, which is a super sad movie that I watched once and will never watch again. But
yes, I remember November Christmas. It's horrible.
Yeah,
So
that
what it is
that one's really sad.
yeah.
Yeah, no sadness, no I need ho ho, mistletoe, pretty presents and all that kind of stuff. And
So-
what we do on our
Kind of
show
like
is
Lucy.
yes, we want to put everything in little segments because the people have the attention span of a gnat. And if you're just going to go click live and read and chat and go, hello, everybody, welcome to my channel. What do we want to talk about today? What's my favorite food? And it just kind of like bored, you know? And that's so we wanted to make it in little chunks.
Yeah. Well, I discovered you guys this fall. John from Hit or Miss Hallmark Reviews, him and I are friends.
Yes.
And he was like, I was telling him, I was like, well, there's Christmas channels on YouTube, but there's not a lot, surprisingly. I mean, there's ones that they'll play the Christmas music over and over again and stuff like that. And he goes, well, you should check out Pepper Tree Villa. And I said, why? He says, during Christmas, they go hog wild. And I was like, really? So he said, yeah, check it out on Monday nights. So I did. And I started watching you guys. And that's what I was interested in. I was like, you guys are doing something interesting. It's not just like my channel, just talking and having fun. You guys are doing segments. You guys are doing, it's like a variety show from like the 70s, which I kind of enjoy. So when you guys are putting the show together, how far out do you guys have it planned? Is it every week you just come up with a different topic? You have to the Sherri, you have to do a craft every week. How does the planning come about as you do each show?
Well, I'm the one that puts together the shows, actually. I'm usually thinking 2, 3 to 4 weeks in advance. For instance, we have the next 3 weeks planned out. Tomorrow night, for instance, we are doing our annual Peeps show where we have segments that are based on that candy that everyone says that they like, but I know no one does, from Easter, Peeps. Anyway, so that's...
But
we're
it's
go-
also Easter week, so we wanted to celebrate a candy, be different.
I actually have my Peep simple syrup made for tomorrow night's drink.
Yeah.
And everybody loves a good peep show. Right. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
sorry,
The
I had to do
following-
that joke.
Oh no, it's going to be a lot of that.
The following
Yeah.
week will fill out the rest of the week, but the focus of that one is going to be Doug and I making a lemon blueberry loaf. So we're going to show how that's made. And then the following week, April 28th, is our annual Hallmark Dream Book show, where we will go through the entire Hallmark catalog of keepsake ornaments that are going to be released throughout the year starting in July. And then we'll probably decide, okay, we want that, and then we'll see who's going to end up spending the most money.
That is
So let's
so-
go shopping.
So that's April.
We want everybody to get their catalog by then because they come out on the 25th.
But a short answer to the question, we usually are about 2 to 3 weeks in advance that we're
So-
thinking about the show.
And I used to do a craft weekly, but this year we're scaling it back, so it's like, because it's hard to get a craft together every week that's
Unique.
unique
Yeah.
or is very user friendly, that doesn't take a lot of prep work or a lot of parts to it.
I was wondering about that because I was like, how many more crafts can you do? I mean, like I do a lot of fun, crafty things, but I don't know if I could come up with something every week to do. But I've you've got it. I mean, you obviously do it a lot, so.
Yeah, I do. I could do it all the time. But
This year we wanted to do a little bit more with food. So Arnie and Doug decided that we would lead into Jello this
Yeah.
year.
so that's why we've had some Jello.
I have
shows.
noticed. I was trying to figure out why Jello was such a huge topic this year, but now that you say that
That's
explains
why.
it. So okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the vintage
Yeah.
part. I like a lot of nostalgia, vintage, retro stuff from the 70s and 80s. I mean, anything from there. I'm not trying to say the 90s were like, I don't like them. to me, it's all about,
There's some
the
pretty
80s
bad
was.
stuff in the 70s, Doug. I
Yeah.
lived
Oh, I
them.
know. There was some really gnarly food, but I mean, it was. So we wanted to take it. And I actually genuinely love it. All the jello we've made, even some of it is just beyond ghastly. They are all very edible. We loved the last one we did, even though
It was
Yeah.
questionable.
Oh,
if you got past the crunchy and
If
the
you got past the crunch of the
crunch,
bean sprouts and the saltiness of the ham,
yeah, it was
it
chewy,
was okay.
crunchy, slimy, and salty.
why
There
do
was
you think Mom's Jello cookbook, the original one from the 70s, did not have any check marks next to those savory molds?
Yeah.
She would
yeah.
not make any of those. It was always the sweet ones, and
I
It was
draw
a
the line
Skull's
at Vienna sausages. If you throw those into a Jello mold, I will not eat that.
I would puke on the
No,
spot.
So
I'm
let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about the relationship here because Ben and Arnie are twins. Sherri, you're the older sister, and you mentioned before we went
I am.
live, you have another brother, Ron. You said right.
Yeah,
Yes.
Ron.
So is he interested
Yeah.
at all? Has he ever been on the show? Like, I'm just kind of curious about
No.
that. No.
no.
No, Ron is very shy of social media. He doesn't have any social media accounts. He will watch us in guest mode,
But plus, he always
and
a
then
lot of times he thinks we're boring.
he'll reach out to me via text and he'll leave a comment on my text stream on my phone, and then I have to relay it to Arnie, Sherri, and Doug because he doesn't want to be caught by the government.
Yeah.
So what's he doing in
Unfortunately,
his
we
spare
love
time, Ben?
we love him dearly,
Taking
but
care of
he
his
falls
animals.
into the tin hat kind of thing.
Oh, let's not go there. Anyway, the thing is that what Ron does also is they have a menagerie in their home. In the past, they've had many cats, dogs. Currently,
Oh.
they have a bird named Vashti and a California desert tortoise that they adopted that they let cruise around their backyard for half the year, and the other half, the tortoise hibernates.
And you just put it away.
I
Or
have
bury
never
it.
seen a tortoise move as fast as it did when Megan was about 4 or 5 years old and we were visiting them. And she wanted to see the tortoise. So Uncle Ron took her into the backyard and she went running toward it. That tortoise tore off running and went and hid in its box and didn't come out the rest of the time we were there. I laughed because I had never seen a tortoise run that fast. It was amazing.
So what does the rest of your family feel about the show? Do they all watch? Just kind of, I'm just curious.
Tom, Sherri's husband, never watches. We have several cousins who will tune in.
My kids will watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My youngest has been on this show before. He does a lot with 3D printing, so
Okay.
he's been on this show, showing some of his stuff.
And then from time to
And-
time, we'll have coworkers who tune in.
Yeah, 4 years ago, we did a show where I went all out with the graphic design and everything. That was called The Taste of Oreo, where we sampled about 30 different types of Oreo products. We took turns doing it. Otherwise, you end up in a sugar coma. So we
Yeah.
decided not to go all out and sample everyone. But Megan, Sherri's daughter, joined us for that show.
So now that you've been on YouTube for a number of years, you've been doing the weekly show. What is it? Has it brought you guys closer together? Siblings. Is it just been something fun to do? What have
driven
you
you
gotten
further
out
apart?
of this?
We've
Further
we've
apart?
always been close.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've always been a close knit family, so that that wasn't a factor in this. I think for us, it's more a lot of fun. I know for me, it's very therapeutic to be able to be on the show and laugh at Doug, and because I can come in with some things that are just I'd rather not have to think about, and he lightens the load. So
Yeah.
so do my villagers.
Dealing
Yeah.
with the pandemic was a really good way for us to just relieve a lot of stress
Yeah.
by
Mhm.
being on the show week after week after week
Yeah.
and producing episodes, and
And
just,
then
it was a good distraction.
yeah, and good distraction too the last 3 years of Mom's life because
Yeah.
she was just really not the woman that we knew as our mom. So for us to be able to get away for at least an hour and a half and not have to think about anything else but friends and fun and movies and food was good.
And
That's
for us, I know Monday has always been that day of dread. You go back to the work week, and you
hmm
just don't look forward to Monday. Now I do. I
yeah,
look forward to doing our show every Monday night.
It's a
yeah.
form of escapism, or you can call it a
Yeah.
side hustle in a different way. But
hmm
it's just, it's something to be different. I mean, at first we were,
Yeah.
it was a little done because we were Disney, and then that kind of felt like ran its course. And then we just started, you kind of always want to change it up for your viewers, but also change it up for yourself because it can
Yeah.
get, the rat race. So,
hmm
and
Yeah.
one thing about Christmas is a lifestyle. I still haven't made my shirt yet or made the shirt because you're probably gonna want to ask all these questions. I mean, it is not a day that goes by in this house that we do not talk about Christmas. I mean, it is,
hmm
oh, there was this, or oh, did you know about this, or we went here, and then we always should be getting about this, or this is what we need to start preparing ourselves. I mean, it's that crazy,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
every day,
But
like
what Ben
every
said,
day.
but what Ben said, it did keep us sane during the pandemic. I mean, for me, I was a school secretary, so of course we were shut down and I was working from home. Ben was working for a medical clinic at the time for Kaiser Permanente, and my husband worked for the Golden Gate Bridge, so both of them were considered essential workers.
hmm
So it helped keep me sane in that they both had to go out to their jobs in the morning and then they'd come home in the afternoon and we'd have dinner.
hmm
Um, but I think for me, especially with the shows, it was very helpful because at that point, my three kids were, all three of them were married, and you raise your children to hopefully be responsible adults. And
hmm
boy, were they responsible because when the pandemic came, I'll never forget March 13th of 2020, my daughter called and said, we've decided we're not going to get together at all. And she had just had a little girl in January.
hmm
So my second grandchild, I was so mad and so hurt because I couldn't be with them.
hmm
Um, they didn't even want to bubble together. And I had to say, yeah, but you know what? This is how you raised them. You wanted them to be
hmm
responsible. And she said, we're looking out for you. We're looking out for our little ones. So, the
So
Yeah,
channel was helpful.
I've
yeah.
watched when you have been doing your lives. I've watched. You guys have a lot of people that all know each other and come every month, every week, and say hello, and that's great. I mean, you have an audience. I mean, I have a few people that constantly are on. Mark, for instance, is always on, and I'm grateful to have that. The YouTube channel for me has become my creative outlet that allows me to do something creative that is a little bit more fun than what I normally do. I'm a graphic designer. I constantly am, doing a lot of government work. Not exactly the most thrilling thing in the world, but I like to I like to do a lot of I like it's a way to be creative for myself that's different from what I normally do, and I love it. I work on these videos. I'm always writing scripts. I'm always thinking of like what's the next thing. This live I've been doing this live broadcast thing for almost about a year now. And it's a way, again, it's a way to reach out and meet people and connect with people. I've met you guys. I've met, the Christmas cousins. I've met the Deck the Hallmark guys. Like all the things that, like it's a whole new world. And I really do love it. And it seems like you guys have really embraced, all of the people who come and watch you every week. Have What is the feedback that you get from them? Do they tell you when they don't like something, or do they give you ideas of things they'd like to see you do?
I don't think people know what they want until you give them it. I mean, I kind of follow
No, but
into the
we
Steve Jobs mentality. We just get it and we just follow it. We just go what we
Yeah, but
want. We
we've
just
got that one we've got the one follower who's always, inputting and helping us try to make things better, things we don't think about. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh yeah, we do have one person that he collabs. I mean, he'll call us and he's like, "Have you guys kind of thought about this? And would do it?"
or
So
he'll
yeah,
say
we
that
do
was
have
awful.
one.
Yeah, he'll be very blunt about
Very
it.
So yeah,
honest
he's
with
like
us,
our
and
But there are
it's great.
private producer. I would
Yeah.
call him our private producer.
there are others that will reach out and say, you know what, I just absolutely love that. I couldn't stop laughing. I'd love to hear more about that. So we get that kind of feedback, and that's very helpful, especially when you are creating content every week and you sometimes you just don't know where your next idea is going to come from.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yeah, and
very
You
some of
helpful
guys
them
to
will
have
get
have
a
that
hold of
feedback.
us. Yeah, some of them will get a hold of us and say, "What was that craft you did? What did you use with it?" So being able to answer those kinds of questions is really nice to help people out.
okay. So when I started watching you, it was right before Christmas, and you guys started talking about your Christmas trees and all the different ones that you had. And I'm going to be honest, I was like, "Oh, that's nice." And then you guys started showing your Christmas trees, and for example, you guys had 50 trees this year. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah.
50 trees in the
That's
forest.
the largest
50?
one. That's the nostalgia.
Yes.
That's
So
Martha.
that is okay.
Martha's
So this
a
is
tree,
Martha
but that's the nostalgia.
3.0.
3.0. So this is the third version of Martha.
Yeah. And that
Yeah.
last year was the Orlando guy nostalgia tree. He sponsored the tree for the forest.
That's what I was also impressed with. You have people who are actually sponsoring your trees. Amazing. So you had 50 last year. Is there going to be more, or is it going to be again just 50?
It might
Just
be a
50.
few less, or it depends. I mean,
Oh, you
it's
can't go
not about
less.
how much we can, because you can only have so much fuses and electricity. We found that out this year. All of a sudden, click. Not a good thing. I felt like a Christmas story or a Christmas vacation where he had to go down and flip the switch because he blew a fuse or flipped the
I'll
circuit.
tell you though, Joe, and I've told the guys this too, the living room for me at their house had way too many trees. It was just way too much.
But
But
I don't
Sherry
know.
doesn't have to live there.
Yeah, you don't have to live there. So I mean, that's
No,
so.
well, you couldn't move if you wanted to live there.
It
Every time you
was
turn around, you bump into a tree.
Oh, there's trees everywhere. I mean, it doesn't look clunky or chunky or cluttered or is it a lot? Absolutely. But I'm like you. I'm a designer. I'm a graphic designer, so I know. There's always pushing the limit and over designing everything. Is it over designed technically? But it does have a. It still looks nice. I mean, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean,
It does. It's roomy, and it's always been roomy up until this last Christmas when they had, what was it, 8 trees in the front room, in front of the window.
oh yeah,
That was
we
a
just
lot.
crammed all in that.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
that
put a
was
ton in that.
the forest. That was way too many for my liking. I enjoyed looking at them, but I just didn't. Was overwhelming.
So let me ask you, if you don't mind, what's your electric bill in December? How much is it?
It's not bad.
Okay.
It really is not bad at all.
If we take a look at our bill, and if we amortize the payments throughout the year, we're paying between $200 and $300 a year for electricity and gas.
Oh,
That's
wow.
air conditioner
A
time
month.
on
A
all
month.
the
Not
time.
a year, a month.
Wow.
A month.
Yeah.
We're
A month.
about
Oh, okay.
we're about 250, and that's so we have the air on because we need it.
But
technically,
during the month of December,
it really isn't bad.
it's not bad because we can't keep all the trees on lit all the time. If we did, it would be far too hot in the house.
Yes.
We'd have to have all the windows open, blowing cold air in.
Because all of this, we're going to be changing that technically. We're going to be getting to that a little bit later. But this is all incandescent lights.
Okay.
So we do not do LED.
So Mark has a
Which is going
question.
to.
So Sherri, do
Okay.
your kids love Christmas too? He's a triplet, but I'm the
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah,
because they
absolutely.
so
My
they
daughter actually had 3 trees in her house this year.
Yeah.
4.
4?
She had
Wow.
one in the girls' room, one in the boys', one in theirs, and then the one downstairs.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they had 4.
Yeah.
And my youngest Jeremy, they had a regular tree, and then he had his Star Wars tree in his office.
nice.
That's
So
nice.
yeah, they're all into Christmas.
So the video that we're looking at is a live tour that we did in early December.
It was when Richard arrived, his flight. He wanted to do a live because he wanted to do a. I gave him the control of when the tree goes on, so it's all by remote. So I said we have a tree lighting ceremony every single day when he was here.
That's
nice.
That's the Disneyland Railroad station on Main Street. All those buildings are Ben's collection.
Via because of us going shopping at antique stores.
It was actually
Not a penny.
It was actually built. The whole thing was sold by Sears in the mid to late 80s.
And Ben got one piece in the 90s, and then we happened to be in the city of Orange in Southern California celebrating their 50th birthday.
Yeah.
In 2014, we were hanging out in downtown Orange. We went into an antique store, befriended a gal, and she sold us the whole village.
Wow, that's great. So, how many ornaments would you say you guys own?
Tens of thousands.
There are over there are over 6,000 ornaments on display and over 10,000 lights on all the trees.
Yes.
Wow, I thought I was doing well with my 5 little trees, and I come and watch your channel, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm a novice compared to you guys. I have my, my wife is not as big of a Christmas fan as me. I don't know how she puts up with me, but she does. She allows me to have I have a Hallmark tree that has all of my pop culture Hallmark. I collect all the pop culture ones. So, the Star Treks, the Batmans, all the fun stuff that I like. I'm not too much into like the snowmen and Santa type stuff, but I've been collecting those since probably early 2000s. And, I have probably about 500 of them, which I'm kind of happy about. But, the organization and the Jenga playing that it takes to put those dang boxes back into the bins is the only thing that really kind of makes me go, do I want to do that this year? It's just the amount of because you got to keep the box, you got to keep them in there, you got to pick them up, and you got to take them out of the box, you got to put it on the tree, then you got to put all the boxes back in, and of course they don't always go in as easily as they did because they came out, and then I can't imagine. I mean, well, I know how long it took you guys because I've been watching your channel. You guys finished in late January by finally putting everything away, correct?
This year
Usually.
1st of March.
This year,
we were really we were glacial.
We were glacial, but that's because of Doug's medical issue.
Yeah, my little issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, that was a medical issue.
Yeah, that.
But I have to say, I don't help them out at all. I tend to enable them with a lot of different things because I'll see something that reminds me of them and I'll pick it up for them. Or this last year I made some things for the top of their kitchen cabinets for, gingerbread themed things. And, so they're constantly getting new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I will talk about something and she will just run with it. And I'm so blessed and grateful. I really do not say that enough, Sherri, because I just said matter of factly of like, those little candy things up there. I'm not to say I'm over it. It was that they were just getting old and tired, but I didn't know exactly what did she go? we get 4 different gingerbread houses. So they're amazing. I mean, they are. So it's nice that we all kind of, because we all have such great, incredible talents, music, design, crafty. There's always, we can pretty much, if we can't find it, we'll make it.
Yeah. Mark
Well, that
says
was like this last year.
he says I hate the
Yeah, I
box
see that.
Jenga game as well. Yeah. I mean it's an if
But like
you have
this,
heart, Mark, yeah, it takes forever.
Yeah.
yeah. But like this year, they had 2 new trees in their living room. One was um, Disney animated films, and the other one was Pixar films. And those were all ornaments. Doug did the artwork, and then I sublimated them all. So they had two new trees with just nothing but those things, and
Mm-hmm.
so it's always evolving.
Mm-hmm. So,
It just
do you guys do your trees rotate? Do you have like because that's my new thing I've been doing. All of my trees now are starting to rotate because putting the ones on the back, you can never see them. So you gotta make it interesting.
Yeah, we have 3 trees that rotate in the forest. Some of the more ornate ones. And then the nostalgia tree, which is the first one that we saw, it
Mm-hmm.
actually sits out a little further away from the wall so you can see the ornaments in back. We decorate that thing all the way around. So we want to make sure that you're able to see all the ornaments in the forest, or at least as best as you can.
So, yeah. So this is I mean it's just impressive. I have to say, and I don't think my wife would put up with it, but you know, um, she tolerates my Christmas love to a point, and then she kind of goes, okay, that's enough, you know.
I
But
have to say though, it is quite magical going into that house. It
yeah,
really
no,
Oh
is at
yeah.
Christmas time.
I mean we're
You're
looking at your
transported into a different world.
living room and where your TV is, and I mean I can just imagine just sitting there watching TV with all these Christmas trees lit up. Okay, that just sounds amazing, you know. Um, and then you even like, what is this room that we're going into now?
This is the master bedroom.
Yeah, this has
This has 4
4
trees.
trees
Wow.
with a
Yeah.
king size bed.
And then we also have a garland in there that has trains as well. That's the train tree on the right. The small one there, that's the miniature train tree. And there are train ornaments on the garland that are on the bookcase as well. Those
Yeah,
are, and the majority of all those are Hallmark ornaments.
yeah, that's the reading nook.
Wow.
another thing that Sherry helped with was all the bows on that thing.
Well, they were getting lost, and so we were talking about
Yeah.
it, and like we need to do it, and we ran out, got, and we were like, let's make bows, and
So we
Yeah.
call that the train nook now.
that's the train little nook, and then we have the dome. I mean, it just grows. So might not this year be maybe that many, but some of the stuff swells, and some of the trees get bigger, because like that train tree went from a 4 foot to a 5 foot, and now it's that thing.
That's 7.5
That's
feet.
7.5 feet because
Wow.
we need so many because it's so
There's so many ornaments.
It's
I collect the
just-
Lionels as well.
yeah, and it's like
Oh,
every
there-
year.
there we go.
That's the Dalmatian tree.
Awesomely.
Oh,
But yeah, the train thing
Yeah,
is
and this is the Dalmatian tree. 101 Dalmatians are on the tree. 101 black spots. Each black spot has a Disney pin on it, and of course, Cruella is on top as the angel.
that is awesome. I mean, I love Disney. I'm not maybe as much of into the movies as you guys are, but and you have a leg lamp, of course. Got now. See,
I see a pink bunny outfit.
Doug.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you-
yeah, that's been yeah that he found that from Build-A-Bear.
And that
Doug-
is the Christmas tree.
Doug, if you go to the Christmas Story House Museum, you can buy your full size leg lamp there, and you need to have one.
Okay.
You guys need
No,
one.
I've been wanting to get
Ah.
a full size, the
Yeah.
actual full
Yeah.
size. Yeah, I do want to get it.
He
Yeah.
wants the glow of sex hanging,
want-
sitting there.
I want it. Yes.
Yes, it is. It is a. I have a leg lamp. Unfortunately, it fell over a couple years ago, so it doesn't stand up
Oh
very
no!
well anymore. Yeah, I know. I have to buy a new one. but when you go to the museum and you tour the museum and then you go to the gift shop and you can buy a leg lamp, it's just fantastic. It's so much fun. Yeah. So, and if you guys
Well,
go to
I have to tell
Ohio,
you that-
I want you guys to let me know because I'm going to meet you there because I want to go with you.
And then we'll drive to Bromers in Michigan. We'll go to Bromers. So it's all that area because there's Pennsylvania, there's Ohio, and then there's Michigan. And you guys are all so close up there.
Yeah. No,
I like
it's
Mark's
amazing.
question.
What's Mark up to?
He's asking, where do they store everything? Do you rent storage units?
No.
No. We actually keep everything on property. Our garage is
Floor to ceiling totes
ceiling totes,
on two sides.
and everything is in cataloged totes that we keep straight with QR codes.
Yeah, I was the amount of organization you guys were showing this year with having a QR code on each one so you can scan to see what's in it. I mean, I just normally write it on the on the bin, but I mean,
I'm with you.
Yeah. But I mean, it's you guys have a lot more than I do. So I mean, I you know, maybe I do need to be a little bit more organized and stuff. But and I guess we're looking at your bathroom now.
That is
That's
the guest bath. Yes.
Guest bathroom. Okay.
Yes.
So I
The
mean,
Oasis.
yeah.
That's where we'll be staying, Joe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, that's the Grand Mickey Suite. The Grand Mickey Suite has two trees in that.
We'll get there. This is
the hall.
the hall of experiences.
That's a half tree that hangs on the wall.
Half tree. Okay.
A half
Did you
tree.
did
Have
you
guys,
make it a half tree?
Have you guys always?
No, I
Good.
found those. I bought them
Oh, okay.
for him. I bought them a couple. I bought myself a couple. I don't even remember where I got them, but they were on sale after Christmas. So I thought, well, why not?
Go ahead. What
You
were
guys
asking?
always been big Christmas people, or is this an adult thing or a childhood thing? Where'd it come from?
When we were kids,
I
we always
would
loved having a
say-
Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that
I-
when you know, Arnie and Ben being 8 years younger than me, when Ron and I were little, we got to the age where Mom would say, "You guys decorate it," because she did not like decorating. She did not like putting. She liked Christmas, but she didn't like putting things up. And so Ron and I would get busy making ornaments and putting them up, along with the red glass balls that Dad always had. Our dad used to work for our uncle who had a nursery, and every year Dad would drive a big rig up to Oregon and Washington to bring down a load of Christmas trees to sell at the nursery. And so Dad always had to have a white flocked tree with a red spotlight and red balls on it.
Oh, no lights on the tree, just the spotlight.
Just the spotlight. And that's what I grew up with. And I don't know if you guys remember that.
I just remember pictures.
Yeah. Because by the time they really got around to appreciating it, we were using green trees. So.
With C7s.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
And my family's been always the same way too. We've always celebrated Christmas, and Christmas is always like a big deal, and stories that we talk about. So, yeah, it's pretty much. And then as we got an adult, so I think honestly, yes, it was always big as a kid, but it's only as big as your parents do because you don't have the financial ways of doing it. But once you get into your more adult life. So, yeah, I would have to say it's more adulting.
yeah. So John and Danielle are asking, do you include any real trees in the mix? Because they're messy, but they smell great.
We used to.
Yes.
But because we are now starting to decorate our forest Labor Day here in the States.
That's September 1st or the first weekend of September.
Yeah. So this year, it's going to be September 1st. But no, we don't do live trees anymore. I would love to. But unfortunately, if you put a live tree up in September, it will be a dry stick in December. So
yeah, we did do it for quite a few years, and then we were shopping with Ben, and we were putting out. We're like, okay, the little one we wanted to get was almost like $100, and we're like, this is stupid, and it wasn't wafting or off gassing the way we wanted. It wasn't. It was dry, and I'm like, you know what? Screw it. So I grew up with all. I mean, I went to go cut down my trees because I'm from Reno, Nevada. So we'd go up the Sierras and go cut the tree down, and we always had a silver tip. I don't know if anybody knows what kind of tree that is.
Yep.
It's a beautiful tree, huge gaps. That's why I'm obsessed over with old-fashioned gappy trees.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would always have a real tree fresh. Oh my God, it was amazing. But as I said, once you get into your adult, we kind of, and not to say we're making up for lost time that I would love to do this as a kid, but this is what I would have done if I was a kid.
Yeah.
But as a kid, I
I
always
think
had a little tree in my room. I always had a little tree
yeah.
about 2 feet on my nightstand. I remember decorating that vividly since I was a wee young chap. So I
That's
always
how
had a
my
tiny
kids
little
were brought
tree.
up.
Mm-hmm.
So
We weren't like
So
that, but
yeah.
Dad always made sure that my daughter had a tree in her bedroom when she was little. And then of course he died before I had the boys, and so every year they have a tree in their room. So my daughter's two kids each have a tree in their room, but we got away from the real trees once they started getting so expensive.
So this is your
Yeah.
dining room. This is where a majority of the trees are, correct?
20
Yes,
of them is
there were-
just
there were-
not one.
There were 21 trees in the room this year.
This is a dining room, living room combo.
I
The house was
told you
built
it's
in
too
2000.
many.
No.
This is the dining room. These are gingerbread peppermint trees, and then we also have poinsettia and a garland on top of the china hutch. So once we turn on the lights here, and I'm sure that's going to happen in a
Yeah,
second.
why are we not turning on the lights?
Oh, probably because Richard was doing a countdown.
Yeah, we were making him go around turning
Yeah.
everything on.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, this is impressive. I mean, I could see how it could be a little cramped in there, but I
think you
kind of
got
like
room
it.
for more.
Yeah, I think there is room.
If you fly out here and want to see it for yourself,
Lee,
Take
you're
the
more than
day-
welcome.
yes,
to come.
everybody
take-
is more than welcome to
Absolutely.
come.
Take the dining room table out, you got more room.
Do you guys leave anything up throughout the year, or do you take it all down?
Well, if you look between us, we have Santa. We decided to give a little touch of Christmas in every room this year.
Yeah.
This is the first year we've done that.
We do have a tree up.
Okay.
It's a 4 foot that is up year round. That we cycle out right now. It has all of our Easter stuff. But that tree never goes away.
Yeah,
Ever. It's just, it's been like that since 2019.
That tree, it currently is Easter. Once Easter occurs next week, we'll strip that tree down, and then we will start hanging ornaments that we collect during the year as a holding place for the rest of the season until we're ready to start setting up the forest in September.
So how many you mentioned the dream book, because I'm excited. A dream book every year is kind of, to me, it's time for Christmas, as soon as you get that, because it's like now you got to plan on what you're getting. How many Hallmark ornaments do you guys buy throughout the year?
I shouldn't say it's very embarrassing. I'm really
It
embarrassed.
varies from year to year. It varies from year to year. I'll start. Last year, my wish list was 53, but then after Christmas, I went nuts and picked up about another dozen or so.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having issues.
Yeah.
And
Is this a
me,
plea? Is this a cry for help?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, sweetie,
hi,
that
my
ship
name
has
is
sailed.
Ben.
Yeah.
And for me, I think I might buy more than any of you guys, but that's because I'm buying for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Six, 8,
I buy ornaments.
9.
Yeah, because I buy ornaments for my kids. I've kept them. I buy their annual one from their collection, and then I've got the 3 grandchildren, and they each I've started them on a collection. So the majority of mine are usually the miniatures, because I love miniatures, and I've got like 3 miniature trees that go up on my sideboard in my dining room.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the bigger ones go to the kids.
So that one that you're looking at right there, that's our copper pot tree. That was a tree that came as a result of a gift that we received from a will.
Yeah, it was.
A friend of ours passed away, and she willed all of her copper pots to Doug.
No, all of her crap. She said, "Just come take it all." She had basically a kitchenware store, so I have enough to open up a Sur La Table or a Williams Sonoma. I am not joking.
It's,
Yeah.
But
And a Bevmo.
Yes, and a Bevmo. Yes,
yes, the Bevmo's not that bad, but this one we ripped. Arnie got in the Peeville. That was the very, 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 very last tree we took down was the copper tree, and we just both got scissors to it. We threw all that away. We're redoing it this year, because we just didn't like it.
these are
It's
the.
the very last tree we
This
were
is
over it.
this is that Disney animation tree Sherri was mentioning,
Oh.
including ornaments that we made. I helped Doug get the logos and posters, and then Doug did the layout. Sherri did the sublimating of the ornaments.
It has the premiere of when it came out in theaters, all 63 of the Walt Disney feature animation.
Yeah. Yep. So I have, I have Hallmark trees. I have 3 Hallmark trees. One of them is a Star Wars one with all my Star Wars ornaments. The second one is a Disney one because I have a daughter and we bought her every Disney ornament that ever came out when she was born. And then the other tree is just filled with every other Hallmark ornament that I buy. And I have now, there's bins that I don't get up every year because I don't have enough trees. So I told my wife this year that I think we got to invest in another tree. We'll see if that happens. But I like you. I bought whenever they come out. If there's specifically ones I want, I go and buy it because if you don't and you don't get it, then you'll be upset. But a lot of times I will wait until after Christmas because 50% off and then 75% off, which is usually the best time to go. I mean, you can get a ton of them. And that's how I've built up my collection over the years. So, I gamble. If there's one, I'm like, I think that one might be around after Christmas. I'll wait to buy it. That's usually the way I go. And then if I really, really need to get it, eBay will still be available. I may have to pay more for it, but you got to take chances sometimes because if I bought every single ornament before Christmas, I wouldn't be able to make my mortgage payments, I think.
Yeah.
That we're doing the same thing. We have necessity series that we've done.
Yeah.
And then because everything is so hyper themed and things go up for almost 4 to 5 months. Not to say we justify it, but there is those you have to have ornaments, like you said, no matter what.
Yeah.
Just you have them. And then, we were being smart this year where we were like, okay, we have to have these. There's just, I don't want to, there's no discussion. We're going to get them. Yeah. But a few of these, let's see if we can just risk it and pull the whole after Christmas. Because like Ben said, not to say we were very surprised on how many were left over on a couple Hallmarks. Yeah. So, it's almost up to a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot. I think we were in the 70, 80 this past year. We're not proud.
Let me put it this way. When you have to dust your ornaments, they've been up a long time.
Yeah, when I'm choking and dusting and getting the Swiffer out, bubble lights are all dusty, and I'm like, it's hard to take it down, but I know we'll be happy in about 4 months or 3 months.
Well, that's true. So let's move on. You guys talked all about, you love Hallmark movies and you watch all of them. I can't watch them after Christmas. I only watch the Christmas ones. But I did a live broadcast last week where I'm starting to collect feedback from Hallmark reviewers and podcasters and stuff about what movies would be in the Hallmark 100. And a couple of you guys were on there watching and giving me a lot of crap for the movies that I was suggesting, but you weren't the only ones.
Yeah.
So if
His
let me ask
comments were
you.
an absolute war zone.
Yeah, I took a lot of heat, but it's I purposely picked movies that I like, that I wanted to throw out there just to see if just to get that reaction, because if everyone just says, "Oh, I want Biltmore Christmas," on the, of course it's a good one. Like, you can't. There's not a fun discussion if you have to, if you everybody agrees. So you guys watched all majority of the movies this year, and obviously been watching them for a few years. If I were to ask you, what would be on the Hallmark 100? What movies would you suggest?
Well, that's not hard. Are you talking
Christmas only.
Christmas or
Just
year round?
Christmas only.
100 Hallmark Christmas movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not all that hard.
We would actually put together a whole list of 100 ourselves.
It would,
but
we'd have to think about
if
it, but
we-
it would be easy to do.
if we said, Ben, what would be your top 3?
Oh, that's I already know what that is.
Yeah, most wonderful time of the year. Uh, 9 Lives of Christmas, and Christmas at the Plaza.
Yep.
That's a good one. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
those
for
are-
me it would be A Timeless Christmas. I also like Christmas at the Plaza. I also like A Biltmore Christmas. I also like a movie called A Little Christmas Charm, which I don't know if any of you are familiar with that one or not. Arnie and Doug, did you ever watch that one? Because I think that was on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries.
We did
I
watch
don't
that.
think
Yeah,
it
that's
was-
the one that ends up being, it's like a mystery where they have to figure out how something happens.
Where
It's a
where the
charm.
charm came from.
Yeah, it was a charm
Yeah, where the
bracelet.
charm came
that-
from.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a cute one.
But those
Um,
are some of my favorites.
I remember on the list last week, Snow Bride was on that list. That's a fun one.
God.
5-Star Christmas is one of our top ones.
5-Star Christmas. Oh God,
Never
there's
Kiss a
actually
Man in
quite
a Christmas
few.
sweater.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Never Kiss a Man in a Christmas
Man
Sweater.
in Christmas
That's a
Sweater.
fun one.
Well, that one in particular is very special to us because
Yeah,
because
this
of-
is really cute story if we have time
Yeah.
to share.
Let's hear it.
Kimberly Williams Paisley and Ashley Williams are sisters, and they both made films that year. Kim's film was on Netflix. It was the Christmas Chronicles, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
And then Ashley made Never Kiss a Man in a Christmas Sweater. Well, they said that they would watch each other's films. Kim neglected to watch Ashley's film that year. So she looked it up on YouTube and found our channel when we were doing a live Hallmark Channel watch party. And so
Both of them
Both of them
were
were-
watching us.
they were watching us, and
watching the movie.
Ashley said, "Are we ever going to see any part of the movie?" And Kim said, "No, they're just talking about it."
This is the best
And
part.
they loved it. They absolutely loved it.
So
I actually had a conversation with them, and they wanted us to come on their show, but it's just never worked out.
no, because they're
Oh,
way more A celebrities than we will ever be, and we're like E-level celebrities, and they are A-level. But Ashley and Kimberly watch us, and they're the sweetest, generous, nicest people. But when they were watching us, and they were just blown away that people were commenting on their movies.
So that, but yeah, that would be on our list.
All the Ashley and Kimberly
The
millions.
most
Oh, yeah.
wonderful time of the year probably is my number one.
And I'm very jelly that you got
but
Stefan's
very-
signature.
Very
Yeah.
yeah, there.
There it is. He is the neatest person. That is awesome.
Yeah.
I saw that picture this past
But I'll
week.
tell you, this closest to that one is also the film The Christmas Card, which is the film that started
Started it all.
that started the genre for Hallmark.
Yep.
Yeah.
You gotta always say that is the best one. It's kind of like Disneyland. Of all the Magic Kingdom in all the world, there's Disneyland, and then you take Disneyland off the side because if Disneyland did not exist, you wouldn't have all these other ones. And the Christmas Card
So
is the gold standard.
we do occasionally we'll do Hallmark Channel watch parties where we don't show the movie on our channel. We're just commenting on it, like Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We ended up meeting someone that was a co-star in one of the films that
Michael
way.
Strickland.
Michael Strickland.
We've had
We had a director. His name is Nicholas Humphreys, and it happened because of a relationship with Michael. So we've had some,
and then the
some
gal,
people-
the gal also, the other Hallmark actress.
Yes.
She was in a Hallmark movie just recently.
Yeah.
So, and they still talk to us and they want to be on our show. So it's really cool that Hallmark actors and directors are, watching us and know about us.
Yeah, yeah. Michael was in Holiday Hotline, which is another one that I'm kind of fond of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that's
is a
yeah,
good one.
that was a great one. I really enjoyed that one too. So yeah, I mean, I've been a huge Hallmark fan. You guys need to go to Christmas Con. I think I'm
There's one. You do
tried
the
telling
New
him
Jersey
that
one where
the last 2 years I've mentioned it to him. It would be a lot of fun to do.
yeah.
it's in Pasadena. There's two.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
one
they only
in
do
New
it. Yeah, they
Jersey,
only
and there's the one in Pasadena.
do the New Jersey ones now. They actually stopped going to California, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, the sign behind me is just filled with signatures and getting all the Hallmark stars. I had Henry Winkler sign it because he was in It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year. But I've met all of them. It's really a lot of fun. You guys would die. I mean, you'd love it so much.
I'm sure we would. I'd love to do that.
There's a few. Yeah, I've seen some of that, but it's also like it's people-y. And it's like I don't want to be like one of them, even though we are one of them, but I don't want to be one of them. So I'm like I feel like and plus I'm not a good sharer, so I would want more time with them. So, it's kind of love and shove. You come in, you get your picture, signature, off you go. So.
Well, Doug, you come in through Ohio. We'll drive over to New Jersey, go to Christmas Con. You'll have a blast. You'll love it.
We would definitely. I mean, it's like we were just talking about the Christmas story because you even said this afternoon after we got done mowing the lawn. I was actually very surprised what we were gonna do. It's like we're gonna decorate that tree, and it's like I get to decorate it with lights.
Yeah, this year we're going to have Christmas in July again for our channel, and we're going to be decorating our year-round tree. We're going to have that on set behind us, and it's going to be featuring our new C7 lights that we bought from True Tone.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So they're the LED lights. So
we're looking forward to that.
Tree is exploded. Well, that tree spawned a bigger tree, which we just got. That's a new tree. So that tree went from 4 feet, and then we got the 7 feet. So,
they're out of control.
Yes. Well, it doesn't help when you have the outlet store of Balsam Hill in your backyard.
Yeah. And
they've lost their minds.
But it all fits in the garage.
It all fits.
And okay, so everything
and
does.
2 cars. Fit in the car.
Everything fits in the garage. We have it all organized.
2 sedans.
And we're still able to park both our cars in the garage.
I can't really say much though, because.
Oh, we can get in and out of the cars just fine. I don't like getting into this one car because it's just a little too tight for me. But we just pull out the one car and I just jump right in the passenger. But yeah, the cars fit.
But I have to say,
fine.
we're really not much better though, because we have the 3. How many? When we have them all out, we've got my big one in the front window.
2 in the dining room.
Not feeling this.
Yeah, there's the
Lee's
one
been very
here.
quiet. Either you're very fascinated or in shock, or you're just a very quiet person.
I am not a quiet person, but I am intrigued.
Yeah, no, but in my house, I've got. Well, we shared the same house, so
yeah, we have your tree in the living room, on the hearth. There's the Starbucks tree in the kitchen, the Tinkerbell tree at the top of the hallway, the big tree in my bedroom, and then
2 in the dining room.
2. Didn't I say that?
I don't think you counted them in.
Anyway, we have about
get your toes out.
Well, I mean, your 53 ornaments have to go somewhere, Ben.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
I
I'm
think this is
impressed. Go ahead, Lee.
I think this is really cool because we were just talking last week or the week before about kind of what we do to keep in the holiday spirit, and just talking about this stuff and seeing what you guys have done and are doing. I mean, I'm in my head. It's now like maybe the end of October, and I have the sobering realization that it's still April. But it's really cool to see all this stuff out there.
Yeah. And
Oh,
then
I'm
don't get me
panicking if
started
we
on
don't
my
get it up.
and then don't get me started on my nativity sets because I collect those too. So
Wow.
How many,
I've
Sherry?
got some.
About
Enough that she's given away, and she
25?
still has a lot.
No,
Yeah, about 20,
last time I
20,
counted,
30.
they were like 35, 40
Oh,
of
35
them,
sets, yeah.
but they're all different sizes. Some of them are real small.
Isn't one of them the size of an egg?
Yeah, one of them is inside an egg that was hand painted. It
Wow.
was a gift. I've got a triptych one that opens up that my son and daughter-in-law brought me from an Orthodox church in Alaska when they were on their honeymoon. I have one that my daughter has since taken, which was given to me by my in-laws. They'd made a trip to Israel and they brought back one made out of olive wood. So my daughter has that one.
Wow.
I like that
Um,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, so just lots of nativity sets, lots of Christmas trees.
I've got
Just
one that looks like knitted gnomes.
yeah,
I got rid of those two, but the one that goes in my fireplace is one that Tom bought me. That's black bears,
it's a family of bears,
a family of black bears.
and it looks really good
You're,
amongst the Christmas.
you're not lighting the fireplace though, right, Sherry?
Oh,
Okay.
We
I'm
haven't lit our
just making
fireplace since 1989.
that would be a
when
single
we had
use
the big
nativity set.
Yeah. No,
So
when we had the big earthquake in 1989, it caused a crack inside the fireplace, and it was like, no, we're not going to pay thousands of dollars to get it repaired just to be told we can't use it because of air quality. So it's
So-
been empty since then.
You talked all we saw inside. Do you guys decorate outside?
We have a couple of our trees of the forest that are on the front porch.
this
Okay.
is the first year we did it. We
And-
want to make a miniature tree lot.
We used to put lights on the eve of the house. However,
We're getting
as,
old.
as I get older, I don't want to climb up a 20-foot ladder to hang lights anymore. So I thought, you know what?
Just because the little giant is big, we're kind of over that. And plus the C7 or C9s are started to fade and fleck. I'm like, okay, we're kind of done.
So we decorate the porch, and then there is one red ball that we put on the rose bush that's at the front door, and it's kind of reminiscent of Charlie Brown's Christmas tree.
But you wouldn't know. We've actually invited people over. I have quite a few people. The best one was Matt
Yeah.
Belanger. He and his wife were yelling, and they were going up and down the street, and he wouldn't call. And because he's like, they were looking for the house that was overly decorated. And she's like, but that's the house. And he's like, or she said, or he said, like, no, it's supposed to be decorated, but it's like, the numbers. And they're like up and down, and they finally stopped. And they knocked on the door very scared, like they were scared to death that this was the wrong house. And I asked them, hi, Merry Christmas. And they're like, but you have nothing outside. When they came in, there was all kinds of like shock. And they were in this house for like over 2 hours. And they were just completely, because he wanted to put up an extra little tree. And his wife is like, no, one tree. Well, guess what? That all changed.
They're no
and now
longer married.
We're huge influencers. So she's like, oh, yeah, let's get another tree. And he's like, well, your guys are bad influencers. I never said we were. So I think our big... Go ahead.
So I like to decorate outside. I don't know if you guys have followed me on Instagram or seen what I post, but in 2020 I made yard decorations for my front yard, and I made this is in my front yard. I made
That is amazing.
I made the end scene of Charlie Brown Christmas where they're looking at the tree.
That is
Amazing.
I have since made additional things. I've made Lucy's psychiatry booth. I've made Pigpen snowmen. I've made Snoopy's doghouse. And then I also did Halloween, and I did a Thanksgiving one. So I've started moving more outside than inside because I feel like I can be a lot more
That's
creative
great.
outside. And
Yeah, if I were to do outside, that's what I would do.
I know the whole Charlie Brown. So we don't live far from where Charles Schultz and the Charles Schultz Museum is. And if you're a big Peanuts fan and you know the 60th anniversary of Charlie Brown Christmas is this year.
Yeah.
So this year we want to do our front porch. We want to do cutouts of like a pink cardboard tree. We want to replicate the tree lot. So we want to clutter our front porch. We have a little big French porch.
Leah sharing.
And we want put the spotlights and the white lights that look like exactly a replica of the tree lot in Charlie Brown Christmas.
Yeah. Let me see if I can.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly, Lee.
Oh, wait until you guys, yeah. Ooh.
Let me see if I can pull up real quick some other pictures that I have.
That is amazing.
Yeah, I'll just pull up my Instagram page. I think that'll be the easier way because I'm sure I posted things. Oh, let's see here. So, so I did. It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
So cute.
Okay, that's great.
Now, these were all plywood, or what did you do?
Plywood.
Or we could probably talk offline. Plywood?
Yeah, I sketch them
they're
out.
fantastic.
I sketch them out. I color.
Okay.
I cut them out, paint them, and put them in the yard.
those are amazing.
That's exquisite.
Yeah.
Oh, I
That's
love
great.
that one.
Dog germs. Dog, give me the disinfectant. Give me the iodine.
So
That's
every
it.
year I
Pile
try
leaf
to
with the wings.
every year I try to come up with I try to find a new scene to do. This was I put this one. I did this one this year where they're
I
drawing on
love
him.
that.
That is
Love that one.
amazing.
And I'll tell you,
That reminds
the
me
whole
of you,
Pigpen
Ben.
thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. I know I had the
that one of-
Thanksgiving one here somewhere. Let's see.
I would love the Pigpen one though. Pigpen, you're the only person I know who can raise a cloud of dust in a snowstorm. Oh gosh, it's covered in
It really
snow.
is covered in snow.
Yeah.
Well, he lives outside in Pennsylvania.
Oh, there it is.
Cute.
Oh yeah, there's the psychiatry booth. So I can take
Oh,
Lucy
you know,
out.
it's Spike.
I could take Lucy out, and then I have a sign. I'll flip the sign. It'll be out, and then when she's in, she's real in. So,
She's real in.
yeah,
That's funny.
Yeah, that is amazing.
yeah. Let's see.
So how tall are they? Just like a couple of feet, or?
Yeah, they're about 2 feet. So here's the Thanksgiving one.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
That's adorable.
That's
So-
fantastic.
This took
she was
me.
so.
This took 3 months to do.
Oh
And
my
if you
gosh,
have-
yeah.
I
you-
believe it.
That needs to be on a T-shirt right there.
Yeah. So I made. I even made the grill.
Wow.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love
So
it.
this is my craft time. This is me showing the crafts that I do.
That
This
is
would be a great
It's
1 hour
fantastic.
special.
I do too.
Yeah. So
Now you gave us inspiration. We'll talk in Zoom later on because we want to tell you some of our fantasies. Now we know someone who's done it.
yeah.
It's like a lot easier. Oh, that countdown's cute.
Which
You
countdown?
did a cutout of the tree that stacks, and you just changed the number.
No.
They're right there. Oh no, that's a tattoo. Okay.
That's my tattoo.
Oh, I was gonna say. I thought it was like a cutout where you did wood and it was a countdown.
no, that's my tattoo. I actually
That's
got
awesome.
it.
I love
I got
it.
that tattoo last year. I was like, I need a Christmas tattoo, and I was trying to figure out what would be, the most Christmassy thing that for me, and it was either the leg lamp or the Charlie Brown Christmas tree. And because I do all those Charlie Brown characters, it turned out to be the tree. So
I believe you chose wisely.
Yes.
Yeah.
You would love
Yeah.
the peanut stuff. Oh my gosh.
so Mark says I
Peanuts
could barely
is
draw a
so-
stick figure. So
Uh,
it's
I'm just saying I can barely draw a straight line with a ruler.
when I was a kid, I sat and I would draw I would get the newspaper comics and I would just draw them. I was really good at the Family Circus. I could draw them, and Dennis the Menace. I would draw them all the time. And then I really got into the Charlie Brown characters. And I was asked, one of the podcasts that I sometimes contribute to is Christmas Morning Podcast. And they had some guy asked, he says, well, how does Joe do that? And I said, well, after you draw these Peanut characters over and over again, you sort of catch on, what's consistent about each character, how they're drawn, how to make their hands, how they do their eyes. So it becomes a little easier, but it takes years of just, doing nothing but drawing pictures of cartoons. So,
Yeah. Ben used to do that a lot when he was little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of Woodstock, especially.
Yeah.
Still, well, did that as a kid. Garfield was my thing, and Heathcliff, and then I always appreciated that. Then in late '80s, I got addicted to Mickey, and no, that's a whole different story. But I was starting to draw a lot of the Mickey characters. But yeah, it was always Garfield and Heathcliff and whatever was popular in the '80s.
Well, guys, I've kept you for an hour and a half. This has been a lot of fun. I'm sure
Oh my gosh, was it?
Yeah, it's been an hour and a half. This has been a lot of fun. I hope that my audience has gotten to know you guys. I hope your audience, if they're whoever's watching, will get to know us. That's the best thing about being on YouTube, is getting to meet people, getting to share audiences and promote each other, because I think that's the way that gets everybody to watch. And, I have a hell of a hard time getting people watching Christmas content in March, but, it's still fun. I still will reach out. I love watching your show every Monday night. And as you guys talked about, tomorrow night is your peep show. Sorry, I'm gonna keep joking about that. But at 8:00, you guys, make sure you tune in and check out Pepper Tree Villa. If you haven't checked them out, check it out every tomorrow night. I'll be on there watching. It's a lot of fun. And then, of course, if you are new to my show, we just promote a little bit. I have a couple of different. Let's see, where am I at? There we go. Let's turn that off. Oh, where's it? Oh, a lot of fun. Oh, I have to unlock it. There we go.
Pulling all the levers right now.
Yeah.
So, I have lots of videos out. I'm promoting Steve Urkel Celebrates Christmas. So if you want to know how all the episodes of Family Matters and how Steve Urkel promotes, last week, a couple weeks ago, we watched Christmas Every Day. This is a movie from the 90s that I love, and I actually drove and found all the filming locations. So definitely check out that, and also check out our live that we did, Lee and myself, and the podcast of Two Girls and One Crypt. We all watched this movie live, and I know Ben and Arnie, I think you guys were watching it with us.
Yes, we were.
And you know how awful it is.
Oh my God, it was dreadful.
Yes. And coming out, I'm pretty safe to say that probably by the end of the week, I have a series called The Year in Christmas, where I've been focusing on the 80s, counting down. I started with 1989, I believe on Friday. And this is only if copyright claims, the copyright gods say, yes, you can release this. We should see Christmas 1982.
Is an awesome series.
It's so long. I do have to say, you do an exquisite job, because the amount of time and energy I know you put into that is mind blowing. So people watch all of it, because it's just insane what you do, and I know.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about some sad Christmas movies. There's a movie called 6 Weeks, where it features Dudley Moore and this girl who has leukemia. And she just abruptly dies at the end. Spoiler alert on Christmas. It's pretty depressing. But that took place in 1982. And then last week I did the Hallmark Christmas 100. I am happy to say that I am doing a second round with people to suggest movies. I will definitely have the Pepper Tree Villa crew on to figure out what you guys think we should be watching. We had a fun discussion, but our next one is on May 4th, and it is going to feature Cousin Seth from the Christmas Cousin podcast. It is also going to feature Alonzo Duralde, movie reviewer who is going to give some credibility to this. Jennifer from What We Watch, and Andrea, who's a Hallmark Channel podcaster as well. So it's a lot going on, but definitely I'm trying to keep the Christmas spirit alive all year long. You guys obviously do the same. Anything else you guys want to promote or talk about?
Just our show tomorrow night. We're going to be doing the Peep Show. But of course, we'll also pepper in a few of our regular segments, including a review of Hallmark Channel's latest film, Hearts Around the Table. Kiki's fourth ingredient.
Have you watched it yet?
6 minutes.
Oh, dear Lord.
Buckle
I
up, Sherri.
finish
Gotta
it.
watch that one.
All I have to say is 6 minutes.
Well, you guys, this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll have a
Thank you.
Peeps craft.
Oh, great! I love
We'll
a
do
good peep craft.
tomorrow night.
And a Peeps cocktail.
And I made something peepy. Peepsy. You'll see it. It turned out really fun. They're on the countertop, and they're
Let me just say
a lot
this:
of
as
pink
much
going on.
as inappropriate as Doug can be sometimes, it's one of the best parts of the show. You know, I love it, and you guys obviously love it. The way that you guys react is great, and it's fun as an audience member to watch. And Doug, I can encourage you to get a little dirtier from time to time. So
Oh, no.
No, don't
I
do
wish.
The banana was my favorite part today. What
Yeah.
do you do with the banana? Just shove it
shove
in
it
there.
in. So, well, like I said, this has been a lot of fun. I think we're gonna have to let you guys go, but stick on for a few minutes afterwards so
Okay.
we can just chat. But everybody else, definitely check out their show tomorrow night. Be sure to check out my videos. Year in Christmas 1982. Hopefully, we'll be out this week. YouTube gods, please let no copyrights. 'Cause that's my biggest problem. But anyways, I'm the Christmas aficionado. I thank you for watching. Lee, thank you for joining me. Arnie, Doug, Ben, and Sherri, thank you for joining me. And remember, stay off the naughty list.
See you guys.